not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And this one right here, I'm going to talk about defending your position. Now, I was on the Wood Grain show last night, and it wasn't that I hung up the phone and got frustrated with the debate. My cell phone powered down. Now, if you was listening carefully, I stated that I had to get off because my cell phone was losing power. But I'm going to go back into Azrael the One, say some things that I didn't have a chance to say, and the concept of defending your position. Now, when you say stuff, when you form your own ideologies, your own opinions, and push off your point of view, I'm like, it may rub people the wrong way, but you need to do a proper job in defending it, defending your position. Like, hence, anything that I've said in my videos, I can back it up and defend it with great vigor. Some people can't. So, it just gives me the impression that some people are just saying stuff, maybe to get views or whatever, or they don't know what the hell that they're saying, or they're not wise and properly choosing the words that come out their mouth. And at the end of the day, they won't even defend their own rhetoric. Or they'll use a weak defense, such as, oh, that's my opinion, but you still must elaborate on why that is your opinion. Now, I pressed some hard questions against Azrael, and he deflected, you know what I'm saying, and he deflected and reflected and backpedaled. And to the point where it felt like I was debating myself, because I thought Azrael came to play hard, but he didn't. Almost as he admitted himself, his race card video was filled with malarkey and that he himself didn't want to touch it. Now, one thing that he brought up, he said that I misconstrued, or I was intellectually dishonest with a certain phrase, when hence he was intellectually dishonest through that whole debate. But one thing he said that I had misconstrued was the whole minority and majority. Like, he said that it was a majority of black men that were misusing the terms coons and Uncle Toms. But he said it was all that he admitted that it was only a minority of us that are acting like social misfits and complete delinquents. Here, throughout the video, he constantly said a majority. Hence, at exactly the 3-minute 41 mark, he said the majority of us blacks fall into the category of niggers. That's what at 3:41. So he means to tell me that the majority of us fall under the category of niggers, but the minority of us are actually delinquents. So the delinquents, they don't classify as niggers, even though they're the ones who are doing stuff. But the majority of us, that which he says most of us uses emotions over logic, and he says the most of us needs our ass kicked. Most of us fall under the category of niggers, and that's the majority that is actually not making blacks look bad, but the small minority of us that are the degenerates. They're, you know what I'm saying, they're not the ones that we should classify as niggers. You see the big conundrum here? And that he tried to trip me up by saying that he only meant the majority of us misrepresenting the word coon, but at the 3:41 mark, exactly, go watch the video, that he states that the majority of us fall under the category of niggers. So hence, it's very confusing, but still, I've stated stuff that when I press certain questions like, did he steal the concept of emotion over logic from Akweezy? He did not answer that. He simply said, oh, well, I had a bunch of videos and I took these videos down. That wasn't the question. And then when I pressed him on the whole purging, there should be a purging of black people and so forth, then he said, well, he said that, well, he stood by it, but then later on, he reneged and said, well, on Tyrone Thompson's show, I don't believe in that, you know what I'm saying? I changed my opinion on that. That doesn't matter. I can only go by what he said on that video. Now, that's a pretty, harsh stance. They say that the majority of blacks, there should be a purging. There should be a purging going on. And if it's only a minority of us, that are acting out, why should there be a purging? He also stated that he's ashamed to call himself, black or whatever. So why would you be ashamed if it's only a minority of us doing stuff and so forth? So yeah, he constantly flip-flopped from minority to majority. I called him out on it, and then he wanna basically and it backfired, and basically he wanna put me, under the spotlight forever for basically calling out for a mistake that he did, and he's saying that I made a mistake. But the whole purging thing that he got from Tommy Sotomayor, and that he didn't even admit, he backpedaled from that. That was a whole lot. He noticed how he didn't really stand firm and believing that he just jumped from topic to topic, whatever, used fancy words and so forth. And and the thing is, then, as I said, he doesn't choose his words correctly. He stated that he was mixed of different ancestors. His ancestors. Basically, he stated in the radio show that he's a mixed origin, mixed ancestry, which that had no bearings of significance in the argument whatsoever. And then he stated that he had a Latino wife. Now, I understand that Latino's not a race, but he'll give you the impression that when he talks about Latino, it's Latino, not black. Because a Latino can be black, a Latino can be Caucasian, a Latino can be Mongoloid. But when he said that he's of mixed ancestry and that he has a Latino wife, it's almost like he's distancing himself from the black maelstrom. So hence, why the hell is he talking about black topics? Why is he talking about wretched black women and so forth when he's not even with a black woman? You see what I'm saying here? The thing is with Azrael the One, and the reason why I brought up the fact that he used to talk about Pokemon and Digimon and Monster Rancher or whatever, hell, Magic the Gathering, why is a grown man talking about Pokemon cards is beyond me. When he was talking about this other stuff, it seemed like he was at it. Even though I was watching these videos, I didn't understand what he was saying. It seemed like, he knew his shit. He knew how to play those Pokemon cards. But he jumped into this black arena because he got subscribers. He got people to listen to him. And so therefore I feel that he is he's way over his head. So therefore he jumps to the side of the black shamers. And I've made numerous videos about the black shamers and how they can give you the illusion that they're intelligent, and all they do is shame black people about Trayvon Martin. You black people voted for Barack Obama. You Negroes. He constantly said Negroes. He doesn't have a voice of his own. Almost as if he is a puppet. He is a doppelganger. As he literally rips off. What he's doing is perjury. He rips off stuff that Tommy Sotomayor says. He rips off stuff that David Carl says. And he rips off stuff that Akweezy 100 says. Like he doesn't even have a mind of his own. Like he's a pod person or whatever. You see what I mean? Like some sort of Muppet. As in that whole video, you know what I'm saying? Like he just echoed their rhetoric of you Negroes, David Carl, emotion over logic, Quizzy 100, Tommy Sotomayor, when he talks about the purging, he talks about wretched black women in other videos and so forth. Why? Because he doesn't know what he's doing. He has no idea what he's saying. He's in an arena that he doesn't belong to. He has no choice but to mimic other people that has already blazed the trail. Other people that are pioneers in the whole black shaming business, and so therefore he feels like he's intelligent. But hence, he can't back up his statements because his statements aren't his own words. Just like he says to me that if you have a problem with Tommy Sotomayor, that I should bring it to him. That he feels that he can recite Tommy's philosophy, and then when I want to challenge him on it, he says, "Well, you should talk to Tommy Sotomayor." Hence, if Tommy was to die tomorrow, would his belief pattern, will it change? Will it alter? Along the time he's dead. It's like if I'm talking to someone who's a Marxist and believe in the ideologies of Karl Marx, and I challenge him and I say, okay, why do you believe in Marxism? And then he'll tell me like, well, if you got a problem with it, you got to talk to Karl Marx. Well, Karl Marx is dead, of course, but still, if someone believes into something and another person's philosophy, we need to understand why does he believe that. Hence, if I believed in the philosophies of Malcolm X, I will defend my position on it. I'm not going to say, well, you just got to read Malcolm X's book or whatever. I'm going to defend why I feel that that we should embrace them and make them an integral part of our mind state and so forth. But Azrael the One does not defend his position, which I assume that was. Then he said something about, well, I said we could talk on the radio show. I assumed that he was going to defend his stance, which he doesn't. And then he reneged on that, talking about, well, I said just calling a radio show. Almost as he admitted that he really didn't even want to debate. And so hence, why should anybody subscribe to Azrael's channel? Why should anybody listen to what he has to say when he won't defend his position? And as I was going in on the race card, when he was saying that black people abuse the race card, when he says that, well, black people will sit on your car, and then he says, when you tell him, hey, get off my car, he's going to say, why? Because I'm black. Hence, when I talk about how all these different groups will have different religious beliefs, different genotypes, I used a universal language, universal things that happened where they've used the race card, which he's only going by a personal experience, and that how can he should have formulated an argument that blacks are overusing the race card more than whites. When I pointed out the white genocide movement of white people using the race card and feeling that anti-racism is a word for anti-white, while they're playing the victims, that they're forced, their co-hosts, to be diverse, to open up their neighborhoods to all these other ethnic minorities or their schools, but other people aren't. White people put together a weak argument and so forth, and that's what I'm saying. Azrael did not prove that these other groups don't abuse the race card. He simply said that blacks do, and I simply said that everybody. And the thing is, there are certain things that go down where, yes, a person is a victim of a certain of circumstances, is because that they're gay, is because they're black, and is because they're white. That hence, the race card is justifiable, and so forth. As of Trayvon Martin, I feel that the race card is justifiable, and what happened in Jasper, Texas, the race card is justifiable. That there's certain things that happen to people is because they're black. Hence, take Chicago. In Chicago, recently, the fire department of Chicago admitted that they were denying black people applications. They were denying black people. They wasn't showing black people equality when they put in applications to be firefighters and they got hit. The fire department in Chicago got hit with a $30 million lawsuit, which they lost because they, you know what I'm saying, it came out the chest. They were discriminating black men. So hence, yes, there the race card can be used that a black man can say that, hey, yeah, I was turned down for a position as a firefighter because I was a black man. There was also some some retired police chief in Chicago that got in trouble and that got indicted for torturing black men. He had black suspects in his custody or whatever, and he was torturing them, and he was forcing them into bogus testimonies, and you know what I'm saying, and pleading guilty or whatever. And you know, he got in trouble for it. So therefore, a black person can say that, yes, I was coerced, I was tortured because I was black. So there's all sorts of you know what I'm saying, situations that black people were a victim because they were a race. So how do we differentiate black people overusing the race card and so forth, and incidents where using the race card was justifiable? It is hard because racism exists, and when someone is a minority up against a majority, they're going to say, hey, I was singled out or I was excluded from something simply because who I am compared to the majority. Hence, when I worked at the jail, I've seen so many white inmates who got picked on or whatever and felt that they couldn't get their justice because they were white, that the COs didn't want to listen to their grievances because they were a white dude and because they were a minority in this situation and so forth. So and that's what I'm saying. Azrael did a horrible job defending his position. He didn't, and I defend anything that I say that I'm willing to defend. That's all I want to say. Thanks for watching, and Sally Forth. And also, I still gotta put out that video about jumping off a different subject about the video vigilante. I made a statement on one of the video vigilantes videos, on one of his YouTube videos, and I said I'm gonna do a reply video to this guy, and 2 of my subscribers thumbed me up. So I'm still gonna put that out next, but I want to drop this video. Thanks for watching. Sorry for